Welcome to Journey of Self-Awareness, your YouTube channel for personal growth and self-exploration. Have you ever thought about the legacy you'll leave behind? We all tend to buy into the illusion of permanence, but today I'd like to tell you a story about my grandfather's life and how it illustrates not only the inevitability of change, but also how we can leave a lasting legacy that will stand the test of time. My grandfather was born in 1872, and I don't have any pictures from his childhood. Photography hadn't become widely available yet, and I only have a few photos of him before the turn of the century. These are from the family farm in Florida. Here he is with his girl on a Sunday drive. They were still using horses for transportation until my grandfather was 45 years old. That's when they finally got a car. My grandfather witnessed the Industrial Revolution, the increasing urbanization and growth of great American cities, and then he also watched man walk on the moon. So he had a pretty remarkable life. He migrated to Washington State in 1906. He was an avid hunter. He established a farmstead and married my grandmother in 1912. My father was born a year later. My grandfather was already 85 years old when I was born, but he lived until he was just shy of his 100th birthday, so he was a large part of my life until I was in high school. I think one of the remarkable things about my grandfather's life is that I'm the only one alive who remembers him. All that's left of his life are dusty old photos and fading memories. All the cars, the bank accounts, the houses, relationships, everything he ever had is gone, and when I'm dead, there'll be no one left to remember him or what he stood for. Everything about him will have simply vanished into the dustbin of history. We tend to believe that things are permanent, even our own bodies and minds, but everything is impermanent. Even our own sense of a separate self is transient. However, the ego likes to buy into the illusion of permanence, because it gives the ego a sense of security and stability, always chasing future happiness through material possessions and external sources of validation. But as we've seen, none of this will ever be enough to fill the inner sense of emptiness that comes from being trapped in the confines of the egoic self. All the happiness is fleeting, and endless cycles of desire can only lead to dissatisfaction and emptiness. My grandfather's life highlights the transient nature of our existence, which invites us to abandon the illusion of permanence and instead embrace change as an inevitable and natural part of both life and death. Understanding impermanence is important because it helps us let go of the past and future and to accept whatever happens. It also encourages us to live mindfully in the present moment, all of which are keys to inner peace. All of our experiences are transient, relationships evolve, memories fade, even our stream of consciousness is always running like water under a bridge. Thoughts ebb and flow, emotions come and go, memories fade, and even our deepest beliefs can change over time. But through it all, the ego clings to the notion of permanence and weaves the bits and pieces of our lives into a seemingly coherent narrative. The story of my grandfather's life underscores the inescapable truth that no matter one's achievements, wealth, or status, the end point is always the same. All of us, regardless of our wealth or accomplishments, will face the reality of impermanence and eventually our own mortality. While this realization is humbling, it can also go a long way toward dismantling the ego. Many spiritual traditions recommend meditating on death. It shifts our perspective, detaches us from worldly concerns, and focuses us on what truly matters. It helps us drop the illusion of permanence and break free from egoic constraints that block our spiritual progress. We begin to see the ego as merely a transient construct based on attachments, identities, and fleeting experiences. When we realize that nothing is permanent, it urges us to renounce the superficial allure of ego-driven concerns and desires and instead awaken to realize our true nature. We realize that the true self is not found in material possessions and false pursuits. Instead, it's realized through love, wisdom, and compassion. It's realized in a mindful, purposeful life in which we cultivate kindness, empathy, and understanding. When we realize impermanence, embrace change, and renounce egoic concerns, we turn toward spiritual growth and begin to transform our lives. We find joy in genuine connections, altruistic actions, and self-acceptance. And by cultivating virtues and wisdom, we establish a firm foundation for lasting fulfillment and inner happiness. When I look back and remember my grandfather, I don't remember his possessions. I remember the dignity of a Southern gentleman and his integrity and his values and his undying love and kindness for others. I remember him getting down on the floor, laughing and playing with my brother and I when we were little kids. I remember stories about my grandfather sharing his well water with the neighbors and how my grandparents generously invited Blind Bill into their home to live for many years. My grandfather's life shows that our actions and values can leave a lasting legacy. When we live a life of loving kindness, compassion, and integrity, it creates a ripple effect of positive change that inspires and permeates those around us. It leaves a meaningful legacy that resonates through generations and transcends time. The enduring legacy of our lives is found in the impact we have on others, the kindness we share, the guidance we offer, and the genuine love we express. When we face death, our money and material possessions will be worthless. Realizing this motivates us to focus on the really important things in life, such as cultivating virtues, practicing mindfulness, and seeking inner wisdom through self-reflection. These practices lead to a lasting sense of contentment. Moreover, we not only learn to accept impermanence, our spiritual practices teaches us to use it as a means of liberation that'll carry us far beyond the fear of death. I hope the story of my grandfather's life has greatly inspired you to pursue spiritual growth and self-awareness, and I hope I've conveyed the importance of integrating spiritual practices, mindfulness, and self-exploration into our daily lives. By embracing the highest principles of wisdom, compassion, and selfless service, we can move toward spiritual awakening and pave the way for a peaceful transition at the time of death. Well, that's all for today. Thanks for watching. Please tell your friends about us and don't forget to check out the in-depth blog articles on our website, josaonline.com. Also, make sure to download your free preview chapter for my upcoming book. The link is at the top of the website. Well, thanks for your support. Until next time, I hope you'll dedicate your life to the enduring virtues that persist throughout time.